Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to compare two mid-range phones, the Moto G5 Plus with the ASUS Zenfone 3. So we have the smaller variant of the Zenfone 3, the ZE 520KL, that's a 5.2-inch variant. We are comparing with the newest Moto G series phone, the G5 Plus. We have the top end variant of the G5 Plus. So we're going to do a detailed comparison of these two phones to decide which is the better device to buy. Now the Moto G5 Plus 4GB RAM variant is priced 17,000, while the ASUS Zenfone 3 is priced at 22,000, and it offers almost similar experience. So we'll do a detailed comparison of these two phones for the design, build quality, the performance, the camera, and all those aspects. We'll compare and see which is a better device to buy. Now let's get started. First step, let's see the design and build quality. So design wise, you can see that both are really good looking devices out there when you look at from the front panel, and both these devices offer a decent experience in terms of the build quality because both are compact, 5.2 inches in screen size. But when it comes to the rear panel, this is one area where the ASUS Zenfone 3 has a much more premium build quality. You can see it's a glass finish and looks really premium. On the other hand, we have an aluminium metallic construction on the Moto G5 Plus. We also have some plastic ends on the G5 Plus, but here we have a completely glass and metal build on the ASUS Zenfone 3. So ASUS Zenfone 3 definitely feels premium. You can see it's a well built phone, looks great, and even with heavy usage we haven't seen any damage to this glass finishing. So it's really great finishing, and you can also see some chrome finishing on both these devices, which gives actually a good feel. And the Zenfone 3 is slightly lighter in weight when compared to the G5 Plus. So overall we would say the G5 Plus is definitely a good looking upgrade over the G4 Plus, but in terms of design and build quality we would choose the ASUS Zenfone 3. Now let's move on to the display. So both the phones come with 5.2 inches screen size, and they are full HD 1080p resolution displays, and also both have Corning Gorilla Glass protection, and the display quality is really good on both the phones. The viewing angles, the color reproduction, and almost everything looks really good on both these devices. So we don't really have a winner in terms of display quality. Both are really good. The touch response also feels really good on both the devices. So now let's talk about the software and the performance. So software, this is one area there is a vast difference between these two devices. So we'll talk about those things in detail. So first step, talking about the software. Both these devices come with Android 7.0. That's the latest version, and we have a custom UI on the ASUS Zenfone 3, while we have a stock-like experience on the Moto G5 Plus. Now first talking about the G5 Plus. So we have a stock experience, and if we just swipe up, you can see the typical stock UI. We don't have any additional options or tools, just the Moto app is included, which provides some added features like actions and display gestures. So this is the only option included, and you can also see the notifications, and is exactly the same what you see on the stock Android. So that's one area where the Moto G5 Plus definitely has a strength, because a lot of users might like the stock like experience. So that's one area this device really excels, and this is also slated to get the next version of Android whenever it releases. So that has been the case with previous generation Motorola devices. So probably the Moto G5 Plus also will get the next generation Android update, and the UI is quite good and offers decent amount of features, although there is no options for customization. Now the ASUS Zenfone 3 has a completely different UI and experience. We have this Zen UI, which is one of the really custom UIs available, and you can see it does come with an app drawer, unlike the Chinese OEMs which does not offer app drawer, but it does come with app drawer, and there is a plethora of options to customize the device. You can see the settings panel is more or less like stock experience, but we have a lot of additional options like Zen Motion is included. Then some ASUS customized settings, EC mode is included, and there is also kids mode, added security features. So mobile manager is also included. So that's one area where the ASUS Zenfone 3 has the Zen UI has a lot of additional features. You can see you can customize icons, fonts, scroll effects. So there's plethora of options included, and there is also support for themes where you can download additional themes. So customization wise, there is no competition for ASUS Zenfone 3, the Zen UI, when compared compared to the Moto G5 Plus. So it's a personal choice, we would say. We can't really choose a winner here, but we would really leave it to our viewers to decide whether they want a custom UI where you can do a lot of customizations like themes and a lot of support. Then Zen UI offers that options. But if you are a person who loves stock like experience, then without doubt the Moto G5 Plus is the best option available right now. So that is the software aspect. Now let's talk about the performance. So these two devices are powered by the Snapdragon 625 octa-core chipset clocked at 2 GHz, and the Moto G5 Plus has 4 GB RAM with 32 GB storage, while the ASUS Zenfone 3 has 3 GB RAM and 32 GB storage. There is also a higher variant, but we are not talking about that variant because that's a 5.5 inch display variant, and it's priced almost 27K. So we are not going into that aspect. So we'll compare with the 5.2 inch variant. Now talking about the performance, both these devices are really good in terms of the performance, and in day-to-day experience neither of them had any issues or lags and performed really well. And even with 3 GB RAM, the ASUS Zenfone 3 performed really well when compared to the Moto G5 Plus. Now the gaming experience is again really good on both these devices. Being a mid-range processor, definitely you won't get high-end like performance, but definitely for this pricing they are really good gaming devices. But the smaller displays is the only disadvantage for gaming, because for gaming most of the devices need a slightly better or bigger displays. Now that's the performance aspect. Now both the phones come with dual SIM cards, 3G, 4G LTE and VoLTE support, and we have a dedicated SIM micro SD card on the G5 Plus, while it's a hybrid SIM card on the Zenfone 3. Now talking about the fingerprint scanner. So here we have a fingerprint scanner on the front panel on the G5 Plus, while it's located on the rear panel on the ASUS Zenfone 3. So if you talk about the performance of the fingerprint scanner, both these fingerprint scanners are really accurate and does the job really well, and they're really fast in unlocking the device. And additionally, you can use the fingerprint scanner to unlock apps and protect apps from others using them. So that's one added feature with the ASUS Zen UI, but that feature is not available on the Moto G5 Plus. Now the fingerprint scanner experience, whether you like it on the front panel or on the rear panel, that's again a personal choice, but the fingerprint scanner experience is really good on both these devices. Now moving on to the camera. So now we have a really great camera experience on both these devices. So we have a 12 megapixel camera with f-stop 1.7 on the Moto G5 Plus, dual tone, dual LED flash, dual pixel autofocus. Now on the ASUS Zenfone 3 we have a 16 megapixel camera, f2.0 aperture, laser autofocus, face detection autofocus, and also we have a dual LED flash. And on the front panel we have an 5 megapixel camera on the Moto G5 Plus, while it's an 8 megapixel shooter on the ASUS Zenfone 3. Now talking about the camera interface, here we have tons of features and modes in the ASUS Zenfone 3, while it's a pretty simple and basic UI with just a professional mode, slow motion, panorama and video recording on the Moto G5 Plus. So if you're looking for great features and modes, definitely the ASUS Zenfone 3 offers tons of features and options and modes to get the better out of your photos. Now both the phones can record videos in 4K. Now talking about the camera performance of these two phones, so this is one area it's a really tough choice to decide which is a better camera out there. You can see that from the samples taken in daylight condition both are really good, and there isn't much of a difference in terms of the photo and the clarity and also the color quality. But one thing we noticed that when you zoom in, you can see that Moto loses some of the sharpness, and that's where the ASUS Zenfone 3 16 megapixel camera performs slightly better. If you zoom in, you can see that details are not lost much in Zenfone 3, while but on the G5 Plus you can see the sharpness levels goes down when you zoom in. So in that aspect, the ASUS Zenfone 3 definitely has an edge over the Moto G5 Plus in terms of the camera performance in daylight conditions. Now when it comes to low light experience, that's where the Moto G5 Plus has an edge, because it is f-stop 1.7 that makes the camera slightly better in low light experience, because it allows additional light to come in to the sensor, and the photos are much more brighter than the ASUS Zenfone 3. But having said that, the noise levels are again higher on the Moto G5 Plus, even though there is a larger amount of light coming into the sensor, the noise is not much controlled. So if you are looking for extreme low light photos, then the Moto G5 Plus definitely has an edge here. But then we would suggest ASUS Zenfone 3 in terms of the camera performance, because even though it doesn't have the f-stop 1.7, it still definitely has a camera which has optical image stabilization and has also a slightly better clarity in terms of daylight as well as low light experience. Now the front facing camera, again we would pick the ASUS Zenfone 3. Again it's a personal choice whether you like the selfies on the Moto G5 Plus or the ASUS Zenfone 3. And both these devices can record videos in 4K. So the additional feature for the ASUS Zenfone 3 is that it comes with optical image stabilization. So in terms of the camera experience, while both these devices are really good, our choice would be the ASUS Zenfone 3. Now finally talking about the battery. Now here we have a 3000 mAh battery with turbo charging on the Moto G5 Plus, while we have a 2650 mAh battery on the ASUS Zenfone 3, again with a Snapdragon 625, but we don't have a fast charging. We have just a 2 ampere charger on the ASUS Zenfone 3. Now talking about the battery performance, both the devices are really good. We would say there is a slight edge for Moto G5 Plus because of a slightly high capacity battery, but the ASUS Zenfone 3 isn't far behind. It also produces really good battery efficiency with the Snapdragon 625 chipset. Now summing up, which is better device to buy? Now both these devices are differ in a lot of aspects, although there are lots of similarity in terms of specification. ASUS Zenfone 3 offers a really premium device which is having a really great design and build quality, good displays, software is highly customizable, great cameras, and good battery life. So it's a great package, but it's slightly on the higher side in terms of the pricing. It's 22,000. So but then now coming to Moto G5 Plus, it's a great build quality when compared to the G4 Plus, but it's not as good as the ASUS Zenfone 3. But again, the display looks quite good. The software is one of the good aspects because there's a plain and stock UI. The cameras are again good, and battery life is slightly better than the ASUS Zenfone 3. Now if you're on a tight budget, obviously the Moto G5 Plus is the good choice, but if you're looking for a premium experience, definitely the ASUS Zenfone 3 provides that with additional features, better cameras, and great build quality, and looks are also better. So we would leave it to our viewers to decide whether they want a device with more affordability, because 17,000 is the pricing for Moto G5 Plus, and if you want a premium device, go for the ASUS Zenfone 3. So that was the detailed comparison of these two phones. So hope you liked this video. We'll also be uploading a detailed camera comparison of these two phones to get an idea about the camera performance of these two phones. So that's all guys, thanks for watching, and if you plan to buy these devices, we have the link available in the description of this video. You can use our link and buy the device. So thanks for watching, hope to see you in our next video. Have a great day.